A big thank you to the channel supporters. More on this at the end of the video. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to what is going to be my first little discussion video. Now, I wanted to make this Winter Summit discussion last week, or even, right after the Winter Summit. But I was sick, so I decided to take the time to fully recover before making this video and diving into what is supposed to be the first half of 2023's reveals for Old School Runescape. So if I pull up my handy dandy, blog post on the side here, you will see that we have the Winter Summary blog here. And I'm not going to read this whole blog, but I will have it linked in the description down below for you all. Now, to dive into it here, we have a brand new skill coming to Old School RuneScape in 2023. This has already passed the poll, as you can see here. 80%. Almost 81% of players wanted a brand new skill. Now, as for my feelings on this, I'm with it. Why not? I think it'd be really cool to see a brand new skill added to the game. Some arguments I've seen against it. Some people are saying that a new skill is not very old school, but I have another tweet here from Gentle Tractor, and he says, during the peak old school era of RS2, not only were new skills a regular occurrence, a new skill was almost always in active development at any given time. And there's a little image here which shows the current skills that are in the game and, of course, summoning. The old school snapshot was prior to summoning, which was released, obviously, 2008. But yeah, the left side of these charts is when development started, and the right side is when the skill actually released in the game. So as you can see, there's some overlap here between Farming's release and they started construction. Same with Construction and Hunter. But anyways, yeah, that's passed, which is pretty cool indeed. So my 30 defense Ultimate Iron Man combat only will be a 739 at some point. Unless it's a combat skill, which, I don't know. Let me know what you think of that down in the comment section below. Now, I do want to keep this on the quicker side of things because I have also had storage issues recently. I bought a new NVMe storage drive, which is supposed to be a really good drive, but it was delivered faulty, which is unlucky to say the least. It took me 2 days to troubleshoot that. And to summarize that, I've just been having storage troubles. Let's keep her moving. We have Desert Treasure 2 coming with a brand new spellbook, which I think is going to be an awesome addition to the game. Now, Jagex said that they don't want to add the curse prayers into the game, which I guess I understand because they want to go sort of a different route than RS3, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some of the prayers in that book inspired by curses. But yeah, Desert Treasure 2, the Fallen Empire, this is going to have, I believe, 4 or 5 extra bosses coming with it, and the rewards are going to be pulled and offered in the future. The Ruinous Powers, as you can see, the new prayer book. A lot of hard requirements on it, which is, of course, expected for a Grandmaster, I believe, quest. Yep, Grandmaster Quest. Then coming up in early January, we have the Secrets of the North, which is the secret quest that was kept under wraps until the summit, which is coming along with the Bloodletter Bow, the Ancient Staff upgrade, etc. Yeah, here we go. Magister's Brew to the Forgotten Brew, the Soulblight Icon and Scepter to the Ancient Icon and Scepter. We have the Venator Bow and Shards, as well as the Ancient Essence. And of course, the new Saturated Heart is coming from this quest. Or I should say the upgrade for the Imbued Heart. Up next, Bounty Hunter. Now, I don't have much to say about this personally because I missed that era of RS2, but I do remember doing a tiny bit of PKing back in the day, which was a disaster to say the least, but I'm sure that people who are interested in Bounty Hunter are extremely happy for this to be back. Not much else to say about that. I think it's great that Bounty Hunter's coming back into the game. That'll give PvPers more of an outlet. Oh, and they also do have this roadmap here, which, of course, it shows a rough release date for all of these things that I'm going to be covering now. So as you can see, we have the brand new Secrets of the North quest coming on January 11th. And then Bounty Hunter is Spring 2023, which I believe is equivalent to Q1. So that should be interesting to see come back. Up next, we have Forestry, which is the expansion to the woodcutting skill, which you know, it's pretty cool. I think it's alright. I think the biggest thing to come from this Forestry update is the fact that it removes competition between trees. And if memory serves, I do believe that they said that this will be an opt-in system, which means if you want to continue woodcutting AFK, you can do that. Follow your dreams. But if you have the forestry kit equipped, that's when you will have a chance to encounter a forestry event, which, you know, could be cool, could be cool. One thing I did want to mention is that all of this is now currently being polled, so be sure to hop into game and vote now. Vote for what you want. I'm not gonna tell you which way to vote. Vote whichever way your heart desires. I have voted on both my accounts, I should add. Up next, we have official account builds. Now, when this was first announced and was being talked about on the stream, I was very mixed on it. Because on the one hand, we create these restricted type of accounts because we're self-restricted. We choose to play this way, right? And I imagine that's why a lot of people are against Jagex making this official. But if I were to dive into history, we could look at the Iron Man game mode. That was officially implemented by Jagex, following several individuals restricting themselves to self-sufficient gameplay. So I mean, Jagex has technically done this in the past, but they're just looking to expand on it, I guess, with the new generation, we can say, of self-restricted accounts. Now, I did want to say that there was an update on the official account builds, which addressed 10 hit point builds, which would drastically change the training methods for these account types, severely reducing the amount of time it takes to build up one of these account types. And of course, there needs to be a clarification that the restricted builds will still not be able to complete quests or equip the gear that they lack requirements for. So you know how there's hard requirements on quests? Yeah. If a skill is locked, and that's another point I haven't even addressed, they're offering the option to lock skills for these special accounts. Of course, these accounts would get additional access to things they wouldn't normally have access to, because let's say you're a skill locked account like mine, you don't want to gain experience in skills, and certain quests offer those as rewards. But yes, to go back to the main point, for completing quests, you still can't complete a quest that you lack the requirements for. So they give the example of a 1 defense peer not being able to complete lunar diplomacy because it has a hard requirement of 40 defense. And then they touch on prestige here, which is the part I was discussing previously about, you know how quests give you experience upon completion. Well, if you were to lock your skills, the game would track all of the accumulated experience from these completed quests. So if you were to exceed that 83 XP threshold to level up a locked skill beyond 1, you would become unprestiged. Prestige is given by default. So while you would remain a level 1 in a certain skill, for example, that you have locked, the game would add and keep all of that experience. So if you were to ever, by any means, remove that lock on that level 1 skill, you would retroactively gain all of that experience that you would have previously accumulated by completing quests. So for those of you not in the know, as I previously stated, I have a 30 defense, combat-only Ultimate Iron Man account, which in short means that I don't train skills. If this official account builds was to be released into the game, pending, of course, the future editions of other skill locks. They actually specifically mention 807s here, which I found pretty funny. That essentially means if the account builds pass, we could go a route of getting over 100 quest points, for example, for 2 Slayer blocks instead of 1. And of course, there are plenty of other things, and I could make an additional video on that if you all would like to know what 807s could access. Now, of course, I do need to mention that I love how 807s were mentioned in the blog, but I do imagine that a majority of people reading through this blog have no clue what an 807 is. It's sort of one of those things where if you know, you know. And if you don't know, you're left with a question mark above your head. But in short, to explain, an 807 is a combat-only account, which means we only train the combat skills and Slayer. Now, we used to be called combat and Slayer only accounts, but that's pretty long, which is why we sort of converted to 807 or combat only. But yeah, I mean, there has been a lot of friction about this whole mode official account builds thing, so I really don't know if we're gonna see this happen or not, but of course we will see when the poll ends on the, I don't know, where Gigapoll. When's it gonna end? I'm gonna imagine a week later. It launched on the 20th, so I'll say maybe the 27th? Correct me in the comments below. But yes, of course, there was some tech updates mentioned in the summit as well, which I thought was really awesome because East Coast World will be seeing some stability improvements and all that good stuff in January, if memory serves. But yeah, overall, I very much enjoyed the Winter Summit myself. The production values were very good on the whole live stream, and ultimately, I just want to know what you think. Let me know what you thought of the summit in the comments section down below. If you're new and you like the video, well, feel free to subscribe. Check out the Inquisitor playlist on the screen right now. Thank you very much. But without further ado, I will be in the comment section discussing everything with you all, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Oh yeah, don't forget to leave a like on the video if you liked it. Thank you very much. And if you wish to support the channel further, you can hit that join button below the video and get the videos 3 days early. Up next, the Buy Me a Coffee supporters, and most recently, Tyron Man, love the name by the way. He says, love the series, enjoy the coffee, and happy holidays. From Tyler. Thank you very much, man. I will. Same to you. And I already said my goodbyes, so I guess enjoy the extended outro. Yep. Still here. You haven't clicked anything on screen yet? Go ahead, do it.